Okay, I just got back from watching the third Sonic movie, and I'm just gonna get this out the way now. It is easily the best of this trilogy. But it is kinda crazy how we now have a full trilogy of Sonic movies. Like, that doesn't really happen too often for video game adaptations, especially ones that are so decently received like these. To summarize my thoughts about everything else beforehand, I did rewatch both Sonic movies, and going back to the first film, it's just so weird. It's the most non-Sonic of the trilogy, but I would also consider it the most interesting, at least production-wise. Like, we all remember the initial trailer with that awful design, which led to them having to delay the movie and redesign Sonic to what we have now, along with shoehorning in game references in post-production. But overall, Sonic 1's a bit of an awkward mess. Not terrible, it's a harmless family movie, but I gotta be in the right mood to want to watch it again, and same kinda goes for Sonic Movie 2. I don't hate this movie, but over time going back to it, it's gotten a bit stale for me. Knowing the production nightmare the first movie went through, Sonic Movie 2 feels a bit like Damage Control, so I think it's better and worse in some aspects. Knuckles is still the best part of the movie, but apart from him and a pretty entertaining finale, there's not a whole lot I really love about Movie 2. Tails glazing up Sonic in almost every scene got old really fast. Even Jim Carrey's Eggman was getting a bit annoying. Like, Agent Stone was more entertaining, and he's a character I've had literally no issues with. But overall, if I still rated movies, I consider the first two Sonic movies 6 out of 10s for their own reasons. I do want to make proper reviews of them in the future. Oh yeah, I also watched the Knuckles show, which was probably the biggest nothing burger ever, but at least it was short, and that's kind of why I watched it. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I don't really understand why Wade was the main focus. Also, why was Cary Elwes there? Did he need a paycheck that bad? There's not really a whole lot that happened in this show. I know I'm not the only one who felt this way about the series, so hopefully season 2 will be better. And I did love seeing Knuckles wear the OVA hat. That was cool. So considering I already called it the best of the trilogy, what did I think of Sonic Movie 3? Well, not only would I give this movie a 7 out of 10, it's probably the first time I gladly rewatch one of these movies. Like, seriously. The first two movies had things in them that I just found generally annoying. Like that dance scene in Sonic 2, I just can't get past it. I'd rather watch the wedding subplot, and that shit went on for way too long. But Movie 3 didn't really have anything in it I didn't like. It was just pretty solid all around. Talking about Shadow, Keanu Reeves killed it. Like, the passion he put into voicing the character is amazing. Way better than the DLC, but I'll get to that shit later. Just like Knuckles in Sonic Movie 2, every time Shadow was on screen in Movie 3, I was happy. I was also glad to see they handled his origin really well. Like, overall, they did a pretty decent job adapting Adventure 2 into a movie. Plus, the girl playing Maria was great too. I loved seeing her interact with Shadow in all her scenes. It also made the, well, pretty obvious outcome of her character more tragic. Knowing that Jeff Fowler was an animator on Shadow the Hedgehog's cutscenes, seeing him direct a movie that featured Shadow in it is pretty cool. Like, his career finally came full circle. I was actually kinda shocked that I really enjoyed the opening action scene with Shadow on the motorcycle. Going off the poster and even the original 2005 Shadow game, I thought it was gonna look pretty ridiculous. But no, it was a lot of fun. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. There's a bit more about Shadow that I'll talk about in spoilers, so I'll move on for now. Talking about the non-Shadow parts, this was in one of the release clips, but the race scene in the opening was actually pretty fun. But it also highlights just how much better I personally felt the music choices were in this movie. Not the score's kinda bland, but I'm talking about the music they featured. Like any movie that features Goldfinger's pretty kick-ass cover of 99 Red Balloons, that gets a huge plus for me. I mentioned how Jim Carrey's Eggman was getting a bit tiring in Movie 2, but Movie 3 thankfully toned him back a bit. And him playing Gerald was fun too. Just two Eggmen having a blast. And their moments together actually got a few laughs out of me. I think that's kind of all the basic things about the movie, so I'm gonna head right into spoilers. So if you don't want to hear me spoil certain aspects of the movie, skip to this point of the video. Anyways, on to spoilers. Sonic drops the "talk about low budget flights" line from SA2. It was probably the most on-the-nose reference they could have possibly made. Movie Sonic has been kind of a bit grating for me. Like, he's not a terrible character, but the pop culture references got kinda old. But I feel like in this movie, he sorta toned it back a bit. But when he dropped the line from SA2, I still felt like, whatever, it's in character, I guess, kind of. Like, obviously, to us fans, that's a line from SA2. But in the context of this movie, why is this version of Sonic saying this? Then again, there are like a billion different versions of Sonic that are inconsistent too, so who cares? But while on that topic, later on in the movie, Shadow says something like, "This is who I am, inside." But, like, come on! Just commit to the original line from Shadow. You had Sonic say the Adventure 2 line, so just let Shadow say, "This is who I am." Like, why did they tack on the word inside? That just doesn't make sense. Were they afraid of it sounding too edgy? When it comes to the musical score, I don't really have any positives about it. I just really don't like Junkie XL, and the fact that he possibly used AI while making this soundtrack is really concerning. Just get rid of him from movie 4, get someone who actually cares about this series. But when the Space Colony arc was being raised, I'm pretty sure Eggman's theme from Sonic 06 was slipped into the score. I don't know if that was Junkie's decision, or maybe the AI program he was using just ripped it from somewhere. Hopefully it's not the latter, because I thought it was a pretty cute Easter egg. Really, if Junkie had balls, he would have just used the entire theme altogether, along with not using AI. Do not come back for the next movie, holy shit. But not focusing on the score, while Eggman was on the arc, he got a phone call and his ringtone was his theme song from SA2, which I found kinda cute. But probably my favorite part of the entire movie was the Super Sonic and Super Shadow fight scene. It was pretty epic. Shadow even pulled a Knuckles from Sonic 3 because he punched Sonic and got the Chaos Emeralds to pop out of him. Like, seeing them fight all across the world was really fun. This is probably the best Dragon Ball movie ever made. But then later on during the finale, hearing Live and Learn getting played was just awesome. I was kind of disappointed with how the first two movies just didn't feature Crush 40 at all, but I'm glad they at least saved this song for this movie, because I don't think it would have hit as well if it wasn't here. Plus, it's cool seeing Johnny Gioeli get an opportunity to be in such a huge movie. I'm also glad they played the song 2 times and not just once. That was cool. Also, yes, I'm aware about the Live and Learn lawsuit going on. I wish Johnny luck, and I hope it gets resolved peacefully. In terms of other parts of the finale, I thought the way Gerald died was really funny. For the people who've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And while watching the finale, I actually thought, wait, are they really gonna sacrifice Shadow here? Like, what if he just dies? Kinda like what SA2 tried doing. That's not what happens though, the very last post-credit scene reveals he survived. Which is cool. I'd love to see Keanu continue voicing him. I was also kind of wondering if the BioLizard was gonna have any place in this movie, though there was that really cute Easter egg with Shadow and Maria watching an old monster movie back then, and the monster in it sort of represented the BioLizard. I thought that was cute. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the BioLizard, it's absolutely ridiculous, but I feel like it probably would have been too insane to just put into this movie. But speaking of the credit scenes, that mid-credit scene with Metal Sonic was pretty exciting. When I saw the movie, the theater wasn't packed, but there were a decent group of people there and they were very obviously Sonic fans, and they were just popping off when Metal Sonic appeared. And they got even louder with the next reveal. Now, I thought Amy looked great, but then it just left me with the feeling of, wait, who the hell's gonna voice her? Like, we have Colleen as Tails, so it isn't like the game voice actors are off limits. I've heard some people asking for Anna Kendrick to voice her, and I think she'd be a pretty safe pick for Amy. Same way Keanu was for Shadow, though my joke pick is Tina Fey. We'll see what happens. And those are my general thoughts about Sonic Movie 3. There's definitely a lot more I want to say about it, and maybe there are some Easter eggs I probably missed, but I'll save that and more for a future review I want to do of all the movies. So go see the movie, it's really fun, it's the best of the trilogy, and congratulations to Jeff Fowler. Like, you came a long way from this ugly piece of shit, dude. And the Shadow game too, like, it's kinda crazy he's still here. So I guess quickly looking at the movie Shadow DLC for Sonic X Shadow Generations, it was okay. It's a one-act level in Tokyo, based off the opening sequence in movie 3. Just like the rest of Shadow's levels, it's a pretty fun time, but it's nothing too crazy. And continuity-wise, I don't entirely get what this is. Like, you're just Game Shadow transformed into Movie Shadow, and it doesn't really have much effect on Shadow's story in Generations. It's just, oh, you go through a movie ring, and you're Movie Shadow for a few minutes, and then you leave. That's it. Really, this content just felt kinda tacked on just to promote the movie, so it's a bit disappointing in that aspect, but I kinda saw it coming. It's not terrible, it's just okay. The Westopolis remix is pretty cool though. Plus, there's 2 challenge missions you get in the level, and again, they're just fine. I like the balloon mission, that was fun. Oh, but the biggest thing about this DLC is that Keanu also voiced Shadow, which is cool, but man, his acting seems a bit phoned in. Like, he killed it in the movie, so I guess this is just the voice director not giving a shit.
Kato, control! I have no time for this. I have to complete my mission. But I'll be back.
You said the line, who cares, good enough, you can leave, Keanu. Like, what the hell? I get that voicing a character in a huge Hollywood movie versus voicing him for a short DLC content made for a game is a bit different, but like, were those really the best takes they had? Also, why can't we wear the Movie Shadow skin outside this level? Like, we can't run around as Movie Shadow in White Space or any of the other Shadow levels? Hopefully they'll patch it, but it's just weird. And that's kind of all I have to say about the DLC. It's fine, check it out if you're curious, but just keep your expectations low. That's all I've got for now. I'll see you all in the next review or video or whatever else I decide to put out. Thank you for watching, and take care.